Close your eyes for a few seconds, and all you see is darkness. You can't see, you're blind, you don't see the world, you don't see what's going on. Now open them. Imagine that when your eyes are open, you're still blind. Imagine that. You imagine that even though I'm looking and I'm seeing all the trees and the world around me, but I'm actually blind. Because that's the reality. You see, there are two dimensions to this world. There are what we see with our own eyes, and then there's the truth, which is what God's reality is. And there are two dimensions to our existence. You see, we don't see the full picture. All we see is what our eyes show us. But that's not the truth. That's not the reality. The reality is what God portrays and what God sees in the world. In the words of Kabbalah, Elokut bipshutut. God exists. We just don't see him. God is everywhere. We just can't find him. We are blind. We don't see. And let's take as an example a person who lived his life with his eyes open, Joseph in this week's Parsha. Joseph had every reason to be embittered, to be miserable. Joseph had a very, very hard life. At the age of 9 years old, he lost his mom. His mom was giving birth to Binyamin and his two siblings, triplets, and she died during childbirth. Joseph was very close with his mother. It was very, very deeply painful experience for him. At the age of 17, his own brothers, Shimon and Levi, wanted to kill him. Instead, they put him into a pit with snakes and scorpions. While they ate lunch, he cried and he begged for his life. Yehuda then convinced the brothers to sell him as a slave, because what money are we going to gain if we kill him? So they sold him as a slave. Can you imagine how much emotional abuse, verbal abuse, psychological abuse, physical abuse happened during Joseph's life? I mean, the poor, poor guy. It wasn't a stranger who sold him, it was his own brothers. And then they told the father that, that Joseph died, and they showed him the multicolored coat covered in blood. Joseph then was bought as a slave by Potiphar and Zlachia. Zlachia, for 1 year, tried to make him sleep with her. He didn't want, and after 1 year, she accused him of trying to be with her, and his boss, Potiphar, threw him into prison. Can you imagine the torment Joseph must have felt at being in prison for a crime he didn't commit? Can you imagine how painful every day must have been? He should be upset and furious with the world. What a bad blow it dealt him. And it's here that you could view life from your own perspective or from God's perspective. You see, if you view life from your own blind eyes, you would be miserable. You would be upset. How dare my own brothers throw me into a pit? How dare they sell me as a slave? Or you could do what Joseph did, which is how he lived his life, how he was happy every single day. Joseph tells his brothers 22 years later, when he meets them, and he introduces himself, I'm Joseph. And the brothers are ashamed, they are embarrassed, they think, rightfully so, that it's going to take revenge. And Joseph says one word: I could have lived my life and said that I was sold, that I was a victim, that you guys did this to me. That would be with my eyes closed as blind. Or I could live my life with the reality, with the truth, with my eyes open, saying, God sent me here. It wasn't you who did this. God had a plan, because everything in life comes from God. It's just that we don't see. But if you open up your eyes, you will see that every experience, every moment of every day comes from Hashem. Hashem is our reality. Hashem is our existence. He guides and directs every single moment, experience in our lives. So Joseph woke up every morning, and instead of feeling depressed, he was happy, because he knew that God sent him. If he's a prisoner, God sent him. If he was sold by his brothers, it wasn't his brothers, it was God. If he suffered emotional abuse and verbal abuse and physical abuse, it was all God. Was it difficult? Of course it was difficult. Was it painful? Of course it was painful. But he never gave up. Not for one moment did he think that this is anything other than from Hashem. And when you lead your life in this way, ask yourself every morning, was I sold or was I sent? You will lead a deeply inspirational life. Look at the Hanukkah candles tonight as we light number 5. The Rebbe used to teach us, look carefully at the Hanukkah candles. Look at the story that they tell us. And you will see that you will be able to open up your eyes. You will be able to lead your life not as blind eyes, but as open up eyes. Our eyes will be open to the reality that God is directing and guiding us, that God is the truth, that Mashiach is the plan, that we are nearly there, that the darkest time of night is just before dawn, that we now, in the turmoil of the world, in the balagan of the world, it's actually God directing the whole entire existence and planet, and he has a reason and he has something. L'chaim, that we should open up our eyes, that we should be open to that reality and be happy every moment of every day. L'chaim livracha.